Hello. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Emma, and I'm on a mission to learn how to sew. I've actually been learning to sew by myself at home for a whole year, and then just recently, I decided to enroll in Tailoring Academy, and I'm taking you guys along for the ride. In the last episode, you saw us work on dress shirts, and from our basic dress shirt pattern, we developed it into this bodycon form-fitting dress pattern. The objective of this leg of the program was to be able to measure, build a pattern correctly, and sew a form-fitting dress with non-stretchy fabric and see if it can fit you down to the millimeter. Because we learned how to sew sleeves last week, we're gonna go with sleeveless this week. The focus of this exercise was also to introduce us to the importance of darts. Darts are these things that you see in the front or the back bodice like so, and their main purpose is to create shape and volume, so a 3D piece of clothing from a 2D piece of fabric. Think between the bust and the waist, and between the waist and the hips there is a change, there is some curvature, and to accommodate that and to accentuate those changes in volume, we're going to need to use darts. From our basic shirt pattern, we have these two front and back darts, and for the form-fitting dress, we wanted to hug the bust as well, so we added some extra darts up into the armpits. But if you leave these two darts separate as they are from the center darts, they don't look that aesthetically pleasing. So what you could do is to move those bust darts down towards your side seams. So that's option 1, and option 2 is to keep the bust dart where it is towards your armpit and connect it to the center bodice darts, extended all the way down the length of your garment, and what you now have are princess seams. And wabam! Here we have 4 separate pattern pieces and a total of 7 pieces to make up this dress. 3 in the front and 4 pieces in the back. But what I have not showed you yet is all the adjustments, all the extra paper that was added to this pattern piece to make sure that the neck wasn't going to flop out, to make sure that the dress was going to fit well and all that jazz. I feel like when I hold the pattern pieces up to myself, they look really thin and like unassuming, and you'd think that it wouldn't require that much fabric to construct this dress, but in reality, to make this knee-length dress, which is about 95 centimeters long or close to a yard, it actually took me 2 whole yards of fabric. For this project, so we're making one form-fitting dress and then one that is form-fitting up top and then is flared out at the bottom. And for this dress, I chose a green that is honestly a little bit out of my comfort zone, but the more I look at the fabric, the more it continues to grow on me. I also have a couple friends who work in the realm of personal color and style, and they've been encouraging me to try out more bright neon colors, glitter, so think like sequin patterns. Yeah, just the shiniest stuff. Apparently I can rock those, which is something that has never occurred to me before, but I'm willing to try. So me choosing this brighter green dress is me taking baby steps towards breaking limiting beliefs of colors and to see what my actual style would be. Okay, now back to the darts. We transferred all of our dart marks over to the fabric and we sewed it like this. Instead of doing backstitching at the end of the darts, what we did was to extend our stitches past the dart into just nothingness, and the way that the threads of the machine twist upon themselves is enough to hold the darts in place. Sure, it might look kind of messy when you flip the dress inside out, but from the front it makes for a very pleasing looking dart that doesn't look like curdled milk in front of your chest. After sewing the darts, we're going to iron the darts. First, just on the stitch itself, splay open the fabric and push the dart to whichever side that we want it to go. For this particular dress, I'm choosing to push the darts into the center of the bodice. Ironing overall just seems like such an important step in tailoring. It makes for a very professional finish and your lines are crisp, everything is neat and tidy, and it really elevates your garment. Here we're using a sleeve board. If you want to iron curves on your garment, you can take advantage of the curve on the sleeve board to press and hold your curves in place.
Không ạ, chỉ là hơi mo vào. Cái cổ của mình nó sẽ quặp vào phía bên trong như này khi mà các chị mặc nó bị mở ra.
Next, we sewed up the bodice seams and then the side seams before we installed the zipper.
Lần đầu tiên khóa của em sẽ làm sao ạ? Nhí theo khóa bên trên nó để êm lên. Đó. Và cách này mình sẽ ứng dụng căn cứ dưới may lên trên. Thì hở tí này thì em lấy.
Once the zipper is installed, all we have left is to hem the dress. With this tighter fitting dress, we're doing a hem of 3 to 4 centimeters or about 1.5 inches so that it is thick enough to hold the shape of the hem. However, with this other flowy dress, if you have the same thickness of a hem, it is actually too firm for this type of seam because we want to accentuate its flowiness, and having a firm hem would obstruct you, would kind of defeat the purpose. So we're only doing 1/2 inch for a hem here or 1.5 centimeters so that we can retain the flowiness of this dress. Throughout this process of attending Tailoring Academy, I've also tried to read more into art history or fashion history specifically because this realm is completely new to me and I feel like I have a lot to catch up on. But to be honest with you, learning art history to me is very much similar to learning history in the sense that it just flies over my head. With my particular learning style, I think I absorb and retain practical information a little bit better. So I've also found these series of Japanese videos on the basics of dressmaking, which I found were very useful. It shows you your basic dress patterns and how the darts are put in place for different purposes, different arm variations, different neck variations, and I think just getting to see like the 3D modeling of how the darts are made and how they're utilized just made a lot of sense to me. But if you have any recommendations on fashion books, fashion history books that you think are essential for anyone stepping into this field, or you just think is interesting, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop a comment down below and tell me what that is.
Có nhà váy của chị Phương Sinh này. Váy của chị Phương Sinh này, cái váy xòe xòe ấy, nhìn rất là kiểu năng động ấy.
And now for the final reveal. To me, this gray dress is very much giving corporate baddie, which is totally me in a parallel universe. Like, give me a legal pad and I'm ready to run some numbers and solve some cases. Here's what the darts look like from the inside. If I were being honest with you, this dress was actually more comfortable than I expected it to be, given the fact that it is made of non-stretchy material. As for this green dress, one of my friends said that it was giving a walk in the park during springtime. It's really funny how at the beginning I looked at this color and it felt really, really bright to me. Like, I don't think I own anything in this shade up to this point, but the more I look at it and the more I wear it, and especially now editing this footage back, I feel like the color is very tame, very mellow, very soothing, very demure. But maybe that just speaks to my growth in terms of expanding my color palette. This one is by far more comfortable than the other one and also a little bit more practical, I would say, because I do ride a moped and I'm not sure if I could get on a moped in the gray one, but I definitely can with this one. My instructor and I agreed that we needed to make some adjustments to the bust darts for further usage, but overall I would say I'm very pleased with the outcome of these dresses. Like, yo, I made it from my own measurements and I drew up some patterns myself. Yeah, just overall really proud. Our next leg of the program is going to be all about skirts, from your form-fitting skirts to circle skirts, pleated skirts, as well as moving towards the territory of being able to look at clothes online and being able to develop a pattern specifically to create that silhouette. So if that interests you at all, be sure to stay tuned until the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!